Welcome to Missing, Mystery and Murder. This episode, we're gonna look into the spookiness of the Skinwalker Ranch. These X-File-esque places, like the X-Files, like Area 51, despite their infamy, they have nothing on Skinwalker Ranch. A place so weird that it's totally flummoxed scientists and terrified even the most cynical onlooker. The massive ranch sprawls across 500 acres of northern Utah in a place known as the Uinta Basin. The whole area has swelled with rumors since the early days of the Spanish missionaries. In the words of journalist George Knapp, it's been the site of simply unbelievable paranormal activity such as UFOs, Sasquatches, I think that's how you pronounce it. There have been many cattle mutilations, psychic manifestations, that rhymed. You name it, the residents there have seen it all. So what is a Skinwalker? Let's talk about Skinwalker Ranch first. Skinwalker Ranch came into national attention in the mid-1990s when the Sherman family had purchased the ranch in 1994. And they shared their incredible stories with the media. Monstrous wolves and lights in the night sky. One day, after settling into their dream home, Terry and Gwen Sherman were startled by the sight of a fearsome animal. They thought maybe it was a wolf, maybe it was a coyote. They really couldn't work it out. It was stalking towards their livestock pen. So they were obviously quite worried when it suddenly grabbed a calf in its jaws. Terry fired at it with a handgun and then a rifle. Despite being hit, the creature strangely, oddly didn't seem hurt. It just simply wandered off, carefree, into the bushes. They both said it left a foul stench like rotting flesh behind it. This smell stayed with the Shermans and they never forgot this. In the weeks and months that followed, many visitors to the ranch reported seeing many unidentified beasts, either moving around the woods and letting out eerie roars and strange noises. And then there were these strange lights that were just hovering and shooting around in the night sky. And they included light orange circles and blue spheres. They felt that these lights were being directed by unseen forces. Most disturbingly, animals on the ranch began to die in the most grotesque way. Some of their dogs, their beloved pets, were seemingly grotesquely incinerated, like burnt alive in the night. Cows were found dismembered and gored out in the middle. And there was too much surgical-like precision for it to be animals. They were really confused. There was a newspaper article that was published about the Shermans' terrifying experience. And this attracted the attention of an unlikely party billionaire, Robert Bigelow. As well as being a hard-headed businessman, he had a passion for space travel and the paranormal, as do quite a few of us. And he founded the National Institute of Science, which was basically like his own X-Files. The Gorman Ranch presented a rich opportunity to study lots of paranormal occurrences that were going on in the one place. It was as if someone had ordered up a perfect weirdness pizza with everything paranormal on top, as said by the journalist George Knapp. The team went on to set up paranormal monitoring equipment and observation posts around the clock. All this activity triggered conspiracy theorists and UFO hunters and all kinds of people from all walks of life interested in the paranormal, the weird and the wonderful, which led to Bigelow giving an interview denying any links with the CIA or that he had any prior contact with aliens before. What makes the story of Skinwalker Ranch so interesting is that the curious phenomena carried on even when under the intense scrutiny by the Paranormal X-Files type team they'd put together. Researchers witnessed the same incredible lights flying around the night sky, and often their equipment would malfunction each time, strangely, and they'd lose any evidence. Electronic equipment was found completely mangled up, squashed and smashed to bits by some unknown force. One of the team, a retired Army intelligence officer, John Alexander, later said in an interview that a pre-cognitive sentient intelligence was at work on the ranch. And this sentient intelligence was predicting what the team were going to do next and damaging the equipment accordingly. So what was going on? The sheer number of incidents around Skinwalker Ranch, the number of eyewitnesses, and the general reputation of this part of the northeastern Utah had led many to take the case seriously. There was also the factor rolled in, and to take into account the Native American folklore. The very name Skinwalker Ranch alludes to one of the most feared entities in Navajo. Is it Navajo? Navajo? I hope it's Navajo. If I'm wrong, correct me. In their culture, skinwalkers are thought of as malevolent witches who mastered the ability of changing into different creatures. The hulking wolf-like beast, a long extinct dire wolf that used to prowl North America, as well as other creatures seen by the investigation team, who had also been linked in with the skinwalkers in the region. Intriguingly, there is a long-standing legend linking the presence of skinwalkers to hostile relations between two Native American people communities, the Navajo and the Utes. I could have pronounced that wrong again, I apologize in advance. In the words of historian Sondra Jones, author of Being and Becoming Ute, the Navajo were more aggressive people. They took on slaves and they had Ute people as their slaves. And according to local legend, a territorial dispute led to the Navajo to curse the land and unleash the skinwalkers. So what do you think? Do you believe in skinwalkers? Have you seen a skinwalker? So many paranormal groups out there are looking for these skinwalkers. I mean, would you go looking? I mean, what would you do if you came across one? Would you just go up and say hi? Would you run? Would you run? I bet you'd run, wouldn't you? You'd run. I'd probably run. Not that I can run very fast, but I'd probably run. Run for my life. Could you just imagine? Well, anyway, there's a group that I follow. I follow many paranormal groups. One of my faves is Twin Paranormal, and they do a lot of Skywalker investigations. They've done a Skinwalker Swamp, the Skinwalker Lake, Skinwalker Forest. They also covered the Skinwalker Ranch, Skinwalker Valley, Skinwalker Cave. Have I said that already? Maybe. Be sure to check out Twin Paranormal on their channel. They've got some great Skinwalker episodes there. Do you believe in skinwalkers?